Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at Lara Fabian's Comme, from her 2003 concert. I'm very interested to see where this goes, and I apologize for my French. It's not my second language. German is the language I took in college, and I am almost okay in it. Kinderdeutsch. So with that, I'm going to begin. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I love the conversations that you guys actually have in the comments below. This is your little community, and I do want you guys to feel free to explore ideas and to share information and help each other learn more about each of these performances and Lara Fabian overall. And so with that, I'm going to begin.
J'habite seule avec maman dans un très vieil appartement rue Sarrazade. J'ai pour me tenir compagnie une tortue de Canaries et une chatte. Pour laisser maman reposer, très souvent je fais le marché et la cuisine. Je range, je lave et j'essuie. À l'occasion, je pique aussi à la machine. Le travail ne me fait pas peur.
To start off, one of the things I've noticed right away is one, this is a costumed performance. I love the costume. I love the scarf. I love all of that. I also love the fact that there's a theatricality, like I said, and it's very musical theater about it. The cool thing about musical theater is that you have a tendency to say a lot of words in a line, that the melody, it grows out of the conversation that you're having with the audience or with the person that you're singing with. And so the one thing that I've always been impressed by with Lara is her ability to enunciate and use the words to move herself through the line. She doesn't get hung up in her own diction. And again, she's professionally trained. So what I'm saying is pretty like a duh moment, right? If you know anything about her, that it's a natural extension of what should happen for the amount of training that she's had. And I do listen for that because it's stuff that I was called to task for in my time in choirs and in shows and stuff like this. Um, because if you learn how to sing as a choir person, you're not used to hitting consonants as hard, and you're not used to chewing the words out as you are when you're a solo performer. So I mean, I've noticed that right away. It's something it's stuff that I listen for, and she does this automatically well. I love the fact that her voice and the piano meld really really well, and that she has the ear to sort of bring out the melody from the piano. She doesn't have a voice that clashes with instruments. She can envelop her voice within theirs, and again, it's just something that I really really appreciate about her. And we'll continue.
Je suis un peu décorateur, un peu styliste, mais mon vrai métier, c'est la nuit que je l'exerce travesti. Je suis artiste, j'ai un numéro très spécial qui finit en nu intégral. Après striptease, et dans la salle je vois que les mâles n'en croient pas leurs yeux. Je suis un homme, comme il dit.
I'm going to go back for a second because when she does some things very interestingly, and it's a good thing. Like at the top of these lines, there's this in this section here. There's the line goes up to a high note, and when she comes to it, she hits it and she punches it, but she doesn't punch it in a very piercing way. It's a powerful way, but it isn't piercing. And um, if you hear other performers, sometimes they'll fly to those high notes and they crush them, and it goes out of context of what the line is supposed to say. And for her, she doesn't do that. She uses it. She goes up to there and she uses the power to hit the note, even though she doesn't really need to. and she hits it with just the right amount of intensity to emphasize what it is that needs to be emphasized, but it doesn't pull us out of the context of the scene.
J'ai un numéro très spécial qui finit en nu intégral. Après striptease, et dans la salle, je vois que les mâles n'en croient pas leurs yeux. Je suis un homme, comme il dit. Vers les 3 heures du matin, on sort manger entre copains de tous les sexes dans un quelconque bar tabac, et là on s'en donne à cœur joie et sans complexe on déballe des vérités sur des gens qu'on a dans le nez. On les lapide, mais on le fait avec humour, enrobé dans des calembours mouillés d'acide. On rencontre des attardés qui pourraient pâter leur tablé, marche et ondule, singeant ce qu'ils croient être nous, et se couvrent les pauvres fous de ridicule. Ça gesticule et parle fort, ça joue les divins, les ténors de la bêtise. Moi, les lazzi, les colibets me laissent froid, puisque c'est vrai, je suis un homme, comme il dit.
So I have an interesting question for you all. Which musical theater role do you think Lara would have been really good at? I could imagine her doing Fantine really, really well from Les Miserables. Um, I I think that she would be really great at that. I was also thinking about Miss Saigon and some other of the shows that I remember from my youth. And I mean, it would be just very interesting. I mean, I would love to see her even do like Sunset Boulevard or something like that, where and again, some of those roles might constrain the range, but I think it would bring out the dramatic side of her to be able to go out on stage and just enjoy a role. Like she taking over the Norma Desmond role on Sunset Boulevard once we reopen and actually have theater again. I would be I'd be interested in seeing that. And again, so I'm bringing that up for you guys so that you can have that commentary in the comments, because I would really love to see her in an actual show performing a character from beginning to end. So Fantine from beginning to end, all the way through I Dreamed a Dream, and all the way through the end where she, well, if you don't know the musical, I'm going to give you a spoiler, when she leads Valjean to um, the next world. So something to think about. Put it in the comments.
À l'heure où naît un jour nouveau, je rentre retrouver mon lot de solitude. J'ôte mes cils et mes cheveux, comme un pauvre clown malheureux de lassitude. Je me couche, mais je ne dors pas. Je pense à mes amours sans joie, si dérisoires, à ce garçon beau comme un dieu qui sans rien faire a mis le feu à ma mémoire. Ma bouche n'osera jamais lui avouer mon doux secret, mon tendre drame, car l'objet de tous mes tourments passe le plus clair de son temps au lit des femmes. Nul n'a le droit, en vérité, de me blâmer, de me juger. Et je précise que c'est bien la nature qui est seule responsable si je suis un homme, oh, comme il dit.
So it's always wonderful to see her because live, and this is probably why I posted the poll that I did, and I mean we learned a lot. I mean it's I learned a lot from doing that poll, and the thing about I was listening to a song. I was going to do a reaction to a song that I didn't know if there was a video to, and I can't remember what it was. And I listened to it because, well, I like listening to her, and there's something about her her tone shifts on a CD somehow in my mind. There's it all the depth that she brings to the stage disappears when a producer takes over her tracks. And again, if I'm wrong, you can take it out on the in the comments. It's fine. It's an opinion. But her version of Adagio live and her version of Adagio on the CD, something disappears. There's like something, and I can't put I can sort of put my finger on it. There's a distance that happens, and I think my interpretation on this is that she feeds off of audiences. She is there for the audience. And when you're in a recording studio, the producer is your only audience, and they're not they're engaged in producing. They're not engaged in the communication act of the song. And so that's my interpretation of that. And this particular performance here is one of those moments where she shows her love of the performance of a song, and that she uses her talent and her skill to be comfortable on stage. And this is actually where I wanted to begin this conversation is she's really comfortable on stage. Really amazingly comfortable on stage. And she is not afraid to touch people. She's not afraid to involve the entire scene. And so when she's at the piano with her piano player and going and going and going, and they're interacting, and she's touching the piano and she's touching him, and all of that sort of stuff, that doesn't happen that often in what I understand to be modern music in the same way. It may be there as a but it isn't part of the scene. Like there's no scene to what's going on there. It's just part of the song. It's just a totally different thing. But again, her ability to communicate this message, like I've talked about people, singers being vocal rhetoricians, meaning that they know exactly what to do within their own vocal toolkit to bring out the correct message to the audience so that they have the correct emotions at any given time, and we're always drawn in. Her ability to use loud, soft, middle, she knows how to use her volume control. She knows how to use pitch. She knows how to build a phrase in order to keep us moving with her through this story. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any more comments, please, put them in the comments section. Timestamp places in the song that you really, really appreciate. And then just have that conversation. And I really do appreciate them. I do appreciate all the comments that move me in a direction. Like this comment here was repeated multiple times throughout the past several weeks, and so you now get to see it. And I do want to thank you for all of your support and all of your energy, your positive energy. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your day. Wherever you are in space and time, please enjoy it. Make it the best that you possibly can. And as always, be safe.